Hi. Hello. Hello, everyone. Okay, I'm going live again today. It is Thursday, and I'm learning a lot about going live on platforms. When you're new to the platforms, you can't use tools. So I can't use this tool to like restream across multiple platforms until I grow followers. So please follow me. If you see me, please follow me. The more I grow my followers, then I can use tools to make some of this easier, like a tool called Restream. The other thing I've noticed is my mic goes out on my iPhone, like, I don't know, 5 minutes into this. So I'm trying a different mic. I bought these little, let me see if I can find the little thing for you guys. Where's that? As I go off screen. This little wireless mic here I'm using for my phones in order to get better quality audio to my phones. And then the main mic here is for YouTube. And it keeps twisting. So stop. Yes, somebody's here. Stop. Dottie. Sorry, that was probably really loud because I just yelled right into the mic. You need to come here. Come say hi. Come say hi to everybody. This is my oldest daughter, Dottie, short for Dorothy. She is a Chihuahua Terrier mix. She's about to be 10 years old, and she's my little sidekick, my little ride or die. She sits underneath my desk all day long. So as Mama is doing all this stuff, she's supporting me with her little cute face. There she is. Yep. The plumbers are coming today to finish up the job. And so she's barking because there's somebody here. Okay, so let's get started talking about marketing stuff. Yay. Yes. Okay. So where's my notes? All right. We're sitting at October 9th. All right. We're going into Q4. And I'm going to tell you a story about working on. The first time I worked on small products, CPG, Johnson & Johnson, I worked on baby and beauty. So I went from working in automotive, selling a $30,000, $60,000 car, $80,000 cars on Lexus, to moving to New York City and selling a $3 bottle of Johnson's baby wash. Okay, this was quite a difference to go from working on a big auto launch, working with big budgets of large products, and not really have any online conversion metrics, because really all we wanted to do was get somebody to download. Back then, it was download a guide or a brochure and then ultimately go to the dealer, right? Like that's our main objective, is to get butts in seats. So get people to the dealerships. We did this through, awareness marketing, conversion marketing, things like that. And then I moved into CPG, and it's a whole different ballgame, right? Because here we're talking about little tiny products that then you have to bring the budgets together. So I'll give you an example. I worked on the Lexus IS launch in 2006. This was a big model redesign. I actually later bought the car. I loved the car so much and totally drank the Kool-Aid. And it was big. It was the biggest launch that Lexus had at the time. And, our budgets were big, but the idea was around cachet. It was around selling something luxury. Okay. A luxury car item. When you're marketing a luxury car item, it's just a completely different way that you have to show up, the types of messaging that you do, the types of budgets that you have, and the types of ads that you create. Then I shifted. I moved to New York City. So this is my New York City story. I moved to New York City with no job and no place to live. I had a one-way ticket and 2 big suitcases that I packed up from LA. And it was 2007, so the economy was good. There was lots of jobs available, but at the same time, I had no job. So I booked a room at the YMCA in Harlem. I had never navigated the subways before by myself. And this was 2007 in January. So there was no iPhones. There was no Google Maps. There was no Uber. I had to figure out how to navigate the city by myself with a map. I booked informational interviews with the large ad agencies. So I had something to do when I landed. I had informational interviews set up. I didn't know kind of where they were in the city. I didn't know what times they were. So as soon as I landed, I mapped all that out. Okay, so here I am up in the northern part of the city in Harlem, and I have to take the subway down to Midtown and then cross over to go to my interview at McCann Erickson, which was in Midtown East. And then I had to go to my informational interview at Horizon, which was, so you see what I'm saying? Like I had to map all this out and have it lined up so that as soon as I got my, so how do I do this? Invite to join as a guest. Oh, I see. Hi everyone on TikTok. TikTok is great. I have so many more people on my lives on TikTok. Ask me questions as I'm talking. Like I love the feedback. Okay, so moving to New York City. No job, no place to live, staying in a room in Harlem in the YMCA, and I hoofed it. I figured it out. I got these informational interviews. I got FaceTime in front of the right people. And ultimately, I ended up taking a job at McCann Erickson. And McCann Erickson at the time had a piece of the Johnson and Johnson business, but they didn't have all of it. It wasn't like it is now. Now they manage all of Johnson and Johnson. It's called J3. It's like a J and J is two, and so they're the third side of Johnson and Johnson. I worked on the pitch that got that win, and I was a part of that team. Now, what was fascinating for me and a ton that I learned was going from working on automotive budgets and automotive clients where we were selling a large product. Okay. So it was big awareness buys. Think, TV, think, big awareness type components. And then I go to Johnson and Johnson and we're selling, $7 sunblock. It's like tiny, tiny, tiny budgets. So that was a complete shift in understanding how to market and advertise something huge, something big ticket item that you can't necessarily track online to now a CPG product at $7. So I got this job at McCann Erickson. I'm working my way in the city. I ended up getting this job. I interviewed at another agency called PhD, and they were so funny. They were like, we want to hire you, but we know that you're going to take our offer and go shop it around town. So we're not going to write you an offer unless you want to come work here, then we'll write you an offer. But if you want a job, we'll write you an offer. And so I ended up not taking that job. I took the job at McCann Erickson. But a year later, they had my resume on file. They remembered me and they gave me a call and they said, hey, we're bringing an automotive account over. We know you have auto experience. We'd love to bring you in for an interview. And ultimately, I ended up moving and taking the job at PhD anyway. So I love that story because it shows two things. One, it shows that every skill that you learn on whatever piece of business you're working on or whatever thing you're selling, it's all learning. So while I know automotive experience, I then shifted and learned CPG experience and then ended up, learning both sides. The second thing is that it's all about relationships. Everything in our life, we are all connected to each other. So these relationships that we build and the impact that we make in initial conversations, even this was an informational interview. This wasn't an official interview. A year later, they're calling me saying, hey, come work for us. So those relationships that you make and the way that we connect with people, right, can transcend. And now that I've moved into being a small business owner and knowing how to market huge, big companies, right, luxury products, knowing how to market CPG products, and then now understanding how to market small businesses, the skills are all transferable. And as much as somebody might tell you, you need to understand this specific niche, you need to niche down and know the ins and outs of a specific niche. I call bullshit on that. Okay, honestly, it's bullshit. Everything is a learning. And as a good friend told me once, failure is fail first attempt in learning. Okay, everything that we're doing, we're learning, and you can niche your messaging for sure. That is a advertising tactic, that is a marketing tactic, but that doesn't mean that we only do that specific niche. It's just my messaging is specifically to small businesses. And I talk to entrepreneurs and founders and creators and the people who want to build their businesses because I know that A, I've done it. Two, I feel like I can help that audience the most using the experience that I have. But that doesn't mean that I won't take on a fractional job at a company or help a company with a project-based work. It just means that my messaging is specifically targeting entrepreneurs and startups and founders, right? So that is a big couple of things that I want to help people understand in their messaging and their targeting. So whether or not you work for specific types of audiences, or you think, oh, I can only do this one thing because this one thing is what my niche is, that's garbage. Okay, we're all learning across the board, and especially early on in our careers, like early on in our businesses, we're going to take the work we can get, right? We're going to take the work that is there, and then we're going to learn what things we like or we don't like. Now, people will ask me, what do you like more? Do you like working on automotive, or did you like working on CPG or gaming or film, right? Like I worked in entertainment, I worked in gaming, I worked in auto, and hands down, automotive is so fun. Automotive is so much more fun because it's awareness, it's business, it's bigger type campaigns. There's not as many metrics, it's not as much ROI, it's a lot more a feeling, right? A feeling. And that is the fundamentals of like a luxury ad, luxury marketing, speaking to that more prestigious clientele. It's a feeling. And that feeling is hard to describe. You can't, it's very difficult to create that feeling in your marketing. And that's why some agencies are luxury agencies. They just know how to do that. And Team One, when I worked there, and still is like one of the luxury advertising agencies, their main clients are luxury clients. So a couple things I want to round out for today's live. And again, I'm going live every weekday this month. Probably going to keep doing it, you guys. This is like really pushing me in the best way possible. So I recommend this to everybody. And because again, I'm new to these platforms, so I don't have a lot of followers. I'm live on TikTok, I'm live on Instagram, I'm live on YouTube, all on different devices because I can't. It won't let me use one. So I'm looking across all, and people might be annoyed. They're like, "Why is she looking over there? Why is she looking over there?" I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm figuring this out. So follow me, please. The more followers I get, the more subscribers I get, the more tools I can use, and the more I can teach everybody about that. But I will say, show up live, do these lives, talk about your expertise, talk about what you know, talk about what you love. Okay, if you listen to anything that Gary Vee has to say, what does he tell you? Talk about what you love, and that will help you grow your business. So as I finish out this conversation, I want to talk about Q4. We are in Q4. We are about to be in holiday, and we need to be thinking about our offers. We need to be thinking about what it is that we're going to sell and package and position ourselves for Q4 as a business, as a founder, as a CPG product, as an e-commerce product, as a service product. It does not matter. Again, throw niches out the window, okay? Across the board, anybody selling something is gonna be thinking about Q4 sales. Like, it doesn't matter what niche you're in. So, what is your irresistible holiday offer? Mine is a Q4 holiday offer boot camp. Okay, I'm starting it next week, and I'm going to be taking everyone through a 4-week boot camp where we're going to go step by step by step how to package and position your offers for holiday. And that's going to be like, what's in your email? What does your budget look like? How are you packaging? These are business basics. And that launches on Wednesday of next week, October 15th. Go to my link in bio. It's my stand store, and you can sign up. It starts next week. If you book by tomorrow, today I have fast action bonuses. Tomorrow I have fast action bonuses, and they're all gone tomorrow. So after that, it's still the amazing boot camp. But if you want a couple of the extra bonuses, you have to sign up before tomorrow. And yeah, by November 5th, so before we go into November, before we go into the holidays, let's lock in our holiday offers. Again, it does not matter what you're selling. Everybody needs an offer. Everybody's selling something in Q4, and we need to put out the essence of feeling. Okay, what is the feeling you want people to feel about your product and your offer? And then let's package and position that into an irresistible holiday offer. All right, I'm hearing some knocking in the background because we're having some plumbing stuff taken care of today. So glad that my ceiling didn't explode and we caught it in time. Yay. All right. Thank you, everybody. And I will be live again tomorrow. I have a special guest tomorrow coming at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 o'clock Eastern. I'm so excited to have a collaboration. That will only be on Instagram. So on Instagram, I will have a collaboration. And then I will jump on TikTok at 9:30. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Please follow me again so I can start to get these tools that I need, because I only have like 0 followers. But I'm going to be doing this. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Have a great day. Okay. End. Thank you.